Colts versus the Raiders. They play on Sunday. Colts come in as the 7th seed in the AFC with an 8-4 record, and the Raiders come in as the 8th seed with the 7-5 record. It's gonna be a great game. Playoff positioning. I have whoever wins this game is gonna make the playoffs. Whoever loses this game is pretty much done, in my opinion. The AFC wildcard race is way more tighter than the NFC. So whoever loses this game, you heard it here first, they're not going to make the playoffs. If the Raiders lose, they're done. If the Colts lose, they still have somewhat of a chance just because they can still win the division. We'll see how the Titans do. The Titans still have to play the Packers. But I do think this is a pivotal game for both teams. Whoever loses this game, in my opinion, is not going to make the playoffs. This is it. This is a dagger on their season. The Colts are coming off a win versus the Texans. They squeaked out that win. They got a lucky turnover at the end. The Texans were in position to steal that game, but they fumbled it away. The Raiders are coming off a win versus the Jets, where the Jets kind of threw that game. Greg Williams, I don't know what he was doing. He all-out blitz on a Hail Mary situation. Doesn't make sense. Luckily for the Raiders, that did happen, and they sneak out a win. But they did not look formidable against the Jets. They did not look like a playoff team. And then the week before that, they got wrecked by the Falcons. And I just think the Raiders are slipping. The Raiders are, after having probably a high of playing a good game versus the Chiefs, probably thinking like the season has a lot of promise. We beat the Chiefs once. We were competitive against them the second time. We had the lead with about a minute and like 40 seconds to go. I think the Raiders were maybe feeling themselves a little too much. They thought they were there already, and they've fallen flat on their face the last two games. Even if they beat the Jets, I do consider them falling flat on their face because the Raiders, if they're real contenders, like a lot of people were saying they were, they should have taken care of the Jets in a way easier fashion. But luckily for them, Rivers has a severe turf toe. He has never been the most mobile quarterback in the NFL by no means. If you've seen Rivers scramble, you know what I mean. He's a little wobbly. He can't really move, but he has a severe turf toe, so he's been fighting through that. So he's gonna be even less mobile. And unluckily for the Colts, they will be without LaRaven Clark, the left tackle, against the Texans. He tore his Achilles. He's out for the season. They're starting, and he wasn't even the starting left tackle. He was the backup left tackle. Constanzo is the starting left tackle. He's still expected to be out. He's not back from injury yet. So they will be starting Chaz Green. Chaz Green. If you guys don't know who Chaz Green is, the last time he started a game, he was with the Cowboys. He played the Atlanta Falcons, and he let Adrian Claiborne get 4 sacks on them. Adrian Claiborne ended up with 6 sacks that game. Chaz Green had 4 sacks, and then they pulled him. And then after that, he's never started a game. So it was bad. It was a horrible game. I went back to look at the tape, at the video for that game, and he was terrible. He doesn't know how to shuffle his feet well. He reaches too fast with his hands, gets beat really quick. He doesn't set the edge. The pass rusher beat him to the edge so many times. And that was with Dak Prescott as the quarterback, and Dak Prescott is mobile, so he was getting away from... It could have been more sacks if Dak Prescott wasn't as mobile as he is, and he still gave 4. He got benched after that. He never started another game. His first real action back after that game was last week against the Texans, and he gave up 2 sacks in his limited play. Or I think he went in like at the end of the first quarter. So he played 3 quarters and he gave up 2 sacks. So that's cause for concern for the Colts if you're starting Chaz Green against the Raiders. Thankfully for the Colts, the Raiders don't have an elite pass rush, and they don't have like no elite, like one person that you think, all right, we could just put him on Chaz Green and he'll destroy him. He'll take advantage of that matchup. But one thing that will help the Colts is that Phillip Rivers is one of the fastest quarterbacks that gets rid of the ball. From the time he hikes the ball to the time that he throws the ball, he averages 2.5 seconds according to Next Gen Stats. So because of that, I think that will be able to neutralize some of the shortcomings that Chaz Green has. Like Rivers is cerebral. He knows where to go with the ball before the play starts. So if Rivers is able to do that and get the ball out of his hand quickly, maybe even quicker than 2.5, he might have to cut it to 2.3 now that Chaz Green is starting. He should be able to neutralize the weakness that is Chaz Green. But I'm definitely going to keep my eye on that. And if you guys watch the game, keep an eye on the left tackle for the Colts, Chaz Green. I know the Colts line gets heralded as one of the best lines in the NFL, but they've had their injuries, and your left tackle is especially important because he covers your blind side. So we'll see how Chaz Green holds up against the Raiders. That's one of the keys for the game. How well does Chaz Green hold up against the Raiders? And the other one, the Colts defense. The Colts offense has been good, but their main reason for how good they're doing this season is their defense. They shut out the Texans in the second half after giving up, I believe, 20 points in the first half. They let them score 0. It reminded me of the Packers game when they let the Packers score 28 points. In the second half, they just scored a field goal, and they were able to allow the offense to come back. So that Colts defense is legit, but they have struggled in the first half. Like I said, they gave up 20 points to the Texans in the first half. They gave up 35 to the Titans the week before that, and they gave up 28 to the Packers in the 2 weeks before that. So I guess the Colts are really good at making halftime adjustments. The coaches are able to break down what happens in the first half during halftime, and they make the adjustments for the second half, and they're a different defense in the second half. They're able to shut teams down. So if you're the Raiders, you better have a good script for the first half, for your first opening drive. Not just your first opening drive, because I know a lot of teams, they script their plays for their opening drive. That's why when you see a team start off hot, sometimes they go cold. A lot of the times it's because they script. They know exactly what plays they're going to play right away. Like they have a script, like five play script, 6 play script for the first drive, and that's why the first drive sometimes looks a lot more fluid than the rest of the game. But they should come out with the strong first half approach, try to get that lead, because the Colts defense does get pretty stifling in the second half. But they did get burned last week by Watson on off the script plays. There was a lot of times where it looked like Watson was going to get sacked. And Watson is a monster. He's super strong. He's able to stay on his feet. He's able to shrug off defenders that are bigger than him and then just extend the play, run to the sideline, and throw a ball down the field. He did that a couple times to Kuti last week. Derek Carr does not have that ability. He might be a better thrower of the ball. Like Derek Carr he's not a bad quarterback. He's not an amazing quarterback, but he's not a bad quarterback. He has a good arm, but he just doesn't have that ability to extend plays and make defenders miss and shrug off defenders. So I think that's gonna limit the Raiders and their ability to break down this Colts defense. And the Raiders, the last 3 games, they've given up 144 yards rushing average for the last 3 games. They gave up 206 to the Jets. And Jonathan Taylor has been playing better for the Colts. It looks like he's picking it up this second half of the season. So I think the Colts should be able to establish the run game against the Raiders, and that would go a long way from keeping Rivers healthy with the turf toe, keeping Chaz Green from protecting, just let Chaz Green go pummel some people. The Raiders do have the 24th pass defense, 20th run defense, middle of the pack defense. By no means is it a good defense. Even the Jets were going up and down on them last week. So that does give me some concern for the Raiders. Their play their last 2 weeks, especially their defense. Their offense has been struggling against the Falcons, came through at the end against the Jets, but the defense is really something to cause concern. In my opinion, the Raiders defense doesn't look like it's a playoff defense. And T.Y. Hilton, the last week against the Texans, he loves playing against the Texans. He had 8 receptions, 110 yards, 1 touchdown. It's his first game over 100 yards in almost 2 years. So it's good to see T.Y. Hilton back. They still have Pittman. They have Hines. Jonathan Taylor is getting more carries. It looks like he's getting stronger as the season goes. The Colts defense should be able to stop the Raiders offense, in my opinion. So my prediction for this game, Raiders 31, Raiders 23, Colts 31, have the Colts winning and keeping pace with the rest of the AFC teams, staying in the playoff picture, keeping pace with the Titans, still in contention for the AFC South.